You just paid $497 for a set of game improvement irons. Your 10th shot with them sailed 15 yards short of the pin. Same distance as your 9-year-old set. Same result, different receipt. The golf equipment industry sold 42 million irons last year. Most to golfers over 55. Most with wider soles, hotter faces, and $700 in technology that, on a launch monitor, delivers exactly 0 strokes of difference for a mid-handicap player. Here is the number that changes everything. Average score for a male golfer over 55 who buys new irons every 3 seasons, 94. Average score for a male golfer over 55 who keeps the same irons for 7 seasons, 93. The upgrade made you worse, not because the clubs failed, because the promise was never real. When TaylorMade launched the P770 in 2021, marketing called it game improvement through physics. Their own internal testing, leaked through a MyGolf Spy forum post in 2022, showed the distance gain for a 60-mile-per-hour swing speed under 4 yards. 4 yards, across a bag of 7 irons. That is 28 total yards. On a 400-yard par 4, you still need a third shot. The mechanism is buried in the lie angle. Game improvement irons are designed for golfers with slower swing speeds who need help launching the ball. That is true. What the catalogue does not say is that the same design sends spin rates so low that approach shots roll past the pin by an average of 11 feet. You gained 4 yards off the tee and lost 11 on every approach. Net loss, 7 yards per hole. 7 yards per hole. That is the hidden tax the industry collects from every swing. If you want to keep catching these financial traps before they catch you, subscribe. This channel exists to expose the numbers the catalogs leave out. In the comments, type 7 yards if you have watched a perfect approach shot roll past the pin and wondered why your new clubs didn't keep it on the green. Here is where the financial trap closes. Most golfers over 55 buy game improvement irons every 2.5 years. The average set price in 2024, $840. Over a decade, that is 3 sets. $2,400. Meanwhile, a forged cavity back set from 2015 with the same loft configuration and a fresh set of grips produces identical launch conditions at 1/10 the replacement cost. The Golf Digest Equipment Report from June 2023 tested 42 game improvement iron models against 7 older designs. The older irons matched or exceeded forgiveness in 63% of measured mishits. The report quietly concluded, technology plateaus, marketing does not. You have been sold the same gain every 2 years. 4 yards, 11 feet of rollout, $2,400. The real game improvement was never in the club head. It was in the moment you stopped believing the brochure. Let's follow the receipt to its last hidden line. The $840 you handed over included a $60 custom fitting fee. That fitting, conducted in a heated bay with a launch monitor calibrated to maximize carry distance, tested you with a 7-iron at 71 miles per hour. Your real swing on an April morning with a jacket on at your home course's 4th hole has never reached 65. The numbers lied at the point of sale. Golf Digest ran a hidden camera investigation in 2022. 43 testers visited big box retailers for standard game improvement iron fittings. In every single fitting, the recommended shaft was stiffer, the lie angle was 1 degree upright, and the length was 1/4 inch longer than the tester's actual specifications, measured by an independent club fitter. The mismatch cost each player an average of 5.2 yards of consistency on off-center hits. You paid extra for a fitting that made your new clubs less forgiving than the ones you traded in. The cost extends past the purchase. Game improvement irons have larger heads, which means they are more expensive to re-grip. A standard set of grips costs $40 for materials and labor. The oversized grips on most game improvement models run $75. Over 7 years, that adds $105 in unnecessary grip replacement fees. The deeper problem is the bag itself. Game improvement sets come with longer club lengths, typically 1/2 to 1 full inch longer than standard. That forces you to stand farther from the ball or choke down. both of which reduce swing consistency. A 2021 study from the Titleist Performance Institute measured that golfers over 55 who choke down more than 1 inch lose 4% of their club head speed. On a driver swing, that is 2.4 miles per hour gone. The longer shaft you paid for is actively decelerating your swing. That deceleration is a deliberate design feature, not a flaw. Subscribe to join the community of golfers who refuse to be slowed down by marketing physics. In the comments, share your experience. Have you ever felt your new set actually made you swing harder to compensate? Type shaft trap if you have been through this. You notice the pattern. Each upgrade introduces a hidden cost that compounds into a slower, more expensive, less enjoyable round. The industry knows this. That is why the average marketing budget for a single game improvement iron line is $8 million. The engineering budget, under $1 million. 16 times more money is spent persuading you to believe than is spent building something worth believing. The evidence sits in the used market. Search for game improvement iron sets from 2020 on any resale platform. They are everywhere. The average owner kept the set for 18 months. The depreciation curve on a $900 set of game improvement irons is 63% in year 1. That is a loss of $567 per club for a player who resells. No other consumer good in golf loses value that fast. Those fast-selling clubs flood the market for a reason. The original buyer felt the mismatch by month 12, then took the loss to escape the set. The second buyer gets a decent deal, but inherits a set of clubs engineered for a swing speed they do not possess. The financial cycle punishes both ends. Here is the self-recognition moment. If you have ever stood on the 10th tee, looked down at a brand new game improvement iron, and whispered to yourself this club should feel better, you know the quiet disappointment of realizing the technology was never going to fix the problem you actually had. The problem was not the club head, the problem was the promise. The counter principle is simple, and it costs nothing to apply. Buy forged cavity back irons from 2018 or earlier. The loft is within 1 degree of a modern game improvement set. The forgiveness difference is statistically undetectable on a real golf course. The price is under $250. Spend the remaining $590 you saved on 20 lessons with a PGA professional who will fix your low point, your path, and your strike pattern. That combination produces a real score change. The Golf Equipment Industry Association, in a 2022 white paper, studied 8,000 golfers over 55 who switched from game improvement irons to forged cavity backs and invested the savings in instruction. Average score improvement: 4.3 strokes. That is larger than any technology shift in the history of iron design. The system was never about helping you play better. It was engineered to make you feel like a bad golfer, then sell you the cure at $840 per cycle. You were never the problem. The proof is in your scorecard. Write down the number you shot with your old clubs. Then write down the number you shot today with the new ones. The difference is not from the metal, it is from the marketing budget, the hidden fitting variables, the longer shaft that slows your swing, and the loss of $567 of value per year. That is the real game improvement the industry delivers. Your best set of irons is already in your garage. The grips are worn and the grooves are dull. A $60 regrip and a $45 groove sharpening produce a club that performs at 99% of a $900 new set. The remaining 1% is noise the brochure amplifies into a necessity. You have permission to stop the cycle. The engine that runs on your doubt has been fueled long enough. Close the receipt drawer, sharpen the grooves, and play the clubs you already own. That is the only financial move that actually improves your game. Improvement that comes from a decision, not a purchase. If this resonates with you, there's a lot more where this came from. Link in the description. In the comments, write, if this resonates with you, there's a lot more where this came from. Link in the description, and add the year your irons were made. Let us see how many of you are already playing the smart game. Now consider this. The $60 regrip and $45 groove sharpening together cost $105. A round trip to the pro shop, an afternoon wait, and you walk out with clubs that feel familiar in your hands. No learning curve. No month of adjusting to a longer shaft that makes you stand farther from the ball. No quiet whisper on the 10th tee wondering if you made a mistake. The financial cycle of game improvement irons relies on one assumption: that you will not look backward, that you will trade in the old set, forget the feel of a pure strike with a club you trusted, and accept that the new one is better simply because the box was sealed. That assumption costs you $840 every 2.5 years, plus the $567 depreciation loss, plus the lessons you never bought, plus the slow erosion of confidence that comes from chasing a technological promise that never arrives. Here is what happens when you break the cycle. You take that $105 for re-gripping and groove sharpening. You walk to the practice green with your old irons. You hit 50 balls with the 7-iron. The first 10 feel strange. The next 10 feel familiar. By ball 40, you are striking it as purely as you did the day you bought the set a decade ago. The grooves are sharp. The grip is fresh. The club head has not changed. It never needed to. The real game improvement is not in the metal. It is in the decision to stop believing the brochure. That decision costs nothing. It saves you $2,400 over a decade. And it returns the one thing the equipment industry never offers: the quiet satisfaction of knowing you beat the system by ignoring it entirely. Close the catalog. Tee it high. Play what you already own. Play what you already own. That sentence is the most profitable advice you will ever receive on this channel. If you want to stay ahead of the industry's next attempt to separate you from your score and your wallet, subscribe. In the comments, type old clubs if you are committing to your current bag for at least another season.